Today's topic in the e-commerce is about the security in e-commerce transactions, and the topic we will cover public key infrastructure and SSL and SCT protocols. So what is this public key infrastructure? The public key infrastructure, in a short form it is called as PKI, is the set of hardware, software, policies, processes and procedures required to create, manage, distribute, use, store, and revoke digital certificates and public keys. PKIs are the foundation that enables the use of technologies such as digital signatures and encryption across large user populations. PKIs help to establish the identity of people, devices, and services, enabling controlled access to systems and resources, protection of data, and accountability in transactions. So, this is what the PKI infrastructure is. This is the user. So, user goes to the registration authority. Registration authority issues the uh, certificate authority, and that certificate authority verify the user, and this is the verifier who verifies the user, and after the verification they issue the certificate. So this is how the public key infrastructure works. So PKI comprises of the following components: the public key certificate, commonly referred to as digital certificate; private key tokens; certification authority, registration authority, and certificate management system. Public key infrastructure and a digital certificate. What is this digital certificate is? It is an electronic password that allows a person, organization to exchange data securely over the internet using the public key infrastructure. Digital certificate is also known as public key certificate or identity certificate. This kind of digital certificate you can very easily find uh, in your documents. If you open the documents in your PDF format, and in the PDF format you will go to the properties and all, there you will find the option of certificate. So there you can check that the file you had, or you whatever the file you have opened, that file has some type of certificate. So that certificate was issued by the name of that authority, issued to, and issued by, and valid from when to when. So all the information is easily available. So you can easily check out these things. So in the digital certificates are based on the ITU standard X.509, which defines a standard certificate format for public key certificates and certification validation. Hence, digital certificates are sometimes also referred to as X.509 certificates. Public key pertaining to the user client is stored in digital certificates by the certification authority, along with other relevant information such as client information, expiration date, usage issuer, etc. CA digitally signs this entire information and includes digital signature in the certificate. Certifying authority. The public key infrastructure includes the certifying authority, which issues a certificate to a client and assists other users to verify the certificate. The CA takes responsibility for identifying correctly the identity of the client asking for a certificate to be issued, and ensures that the information contained within the certificate is correct and digitally signs it. The key functions of certification authority are generating key pairs. The CA may generate a key pair independently or jointly with the client. Issuing digital certificates. CA can be considered as equivalent to a passport agency. The CA issues a certificate after client provides the credentials to confirm his identity. The CA then signs the certificate to prevent modification of the details contained in the certificate. The third key function is verifying certificates. The CA makes it publicly available in environment to assist verification of his signature on client's digital certificate. The fourth one is revocation of certificates. At times, CA revokes the certificate issued due to some reason such as compromise of private key by user or loss of trust in the client. After revocation, CA maintains the list of all revoked certificate that is available to the environment. I hope all the key functions are easily understandable to you. There are four typical classes of certificate. The class 1, these certificates can be easily acquired by supplying an email address. Class 2, these certificates require additional personal information to be supplied. Class 3, these certificates can only be purchased after checks have been made about the requester's identity. And in class 4, they may be used by governments and financial organizations needing very high level of trust. So the certification authority divides the classes of certificate in four types. So now it depends on you. You belong to which type, and according to your uses and types, the certification authority will issue the certificate to you. Registration authority. Certification authority may use a third-party registration authority to perform the necessary checks on the person or company requesting the certificate to confirm their identity. The RA may appear to the client as a CA, but they do not actually sign the certificate that is issued. So registration authority is what? It is a third party to perform the necessary checks on the person or company requesting the certificate to confirm their identity. So let's take an example of this. If you want to claim the insurance on your vehicle, the insurance company sends the third party to check out the actual status of the your vehicle and how much insurance the vehicle can get. So this is what this is an example which is similar to the registration authority. So the CA sends the registration authority to check and to verify the customers who need the certification authority, who need the certificate, digital certificate. The next is certificate management system. It is the management system through which certificates are published, temporarily or permanently suspended, renewed, or revoked. Certificate management systems do not normally delete certificates because it may be necessary to prove their status at a point in time. Perhaps for legal reasons, a CA along with associated RA runs certificate management systems to be able to track their responsibilities and liabilities. So certificate management system is associated with the CA and the RA so that they can able to track the responsibilities and whatever the liabilities of the user, so they can easily track all the things. SSL, secure socket layer, and SET, secure e-commerce transaction. So when we do the e-commerce, these two protocols are very important. So what is this SET, secure e-commerce transaction, and SSL, secure socket layer? Let's understand the difference between both the protocols. SET, it is the encryption of financial data. SSL, encryption of the transmission. I hope now it is clear to you. When you swipe your credit card to a machine, that machine uses the SET to encrypt your card information, and whatever the financial data you are doing, everything is encrypted through that SET. Now, after that encryption, this SSL protocol will is transmits your information which is encrypted to the bank, and then bank will accept and read and verify all the informations, and that transaction happens. There are three parties in the SET, that is consumer, merchant, and bank. Easily understandable by you. Consumer is swiping to the merchant's machine, and that financial data is encrypted financial data is sent to the bank. And in SSL, there are two parties. One is web browser, another is web server. So with the help of web browser, you are sending the information to the web server, and that web server is verifying all the things. SCT, authentication of all parties according to the role in the process. So what is the consumer role, what is the merchant role, and what is the bank role? Everything needs to be authenticated. And as in SSL, authentication of the server possibly at the browser end, because you transmits the data with the help of browser. So your browser must authenticate each and everything, and it is a strong encryption worldwide. So SCT, secure e-commerce transaction, is having a strong encryption worldwide, which is 56-bit DES and 1024-bit RSA. These are the algorithms. And then SSL is do what? Commercial encryption or exceptions or proprietary solutions. Then SCT, merchant does not see the account number. In SSL, merchant receives card data in order to authorize the payment. When you do the payment to the web, this point will activate. Merchant receives card data in order to authorize the payment. When we do payment through the machine, then this point activate that merchant does not see the account number, because merchant only see the card and it swipes the card. So what is in the card? Merchant doesn't see. Then SCT, uniform interface between merchant and bank. Whereas in SSL, interface merchant bank is not defined. Uh, in SCT, all transactions are signed and encrypted. How it's signed? You when you swipe your credit card or debit card, you enter the PIN. When you enter the PIN, the meaning is that transaction is signed and valid. Here, the encryption is lost after transmission, so no signed receipts. When you lost the transmission, there is no sign. While during the transaction, if you lost the internet connection or there is some technical problem happens, then the transaction stops there in the middle one. In SCT, SCT requires special softwares, and SSL needs web standard softwares. SCT usually registration required by the issuing bank. That means uh, uh, registration, that means the credit card which the bank is issuing, that is one type of registration, and the machine which the merchant is using, that machine is also registered with the bank. Here no prerequisites are required. So this is the difference between secure e-commerce transaction and secure socket layer. I hope it is clear to you. And these are the references for the current lecture. And in the next lecture, we will study about the business strategy in an electronic age. Till then, thank you very much.